What makes most women start a business? Is it passion, money, or freedom? Welcome to the Female Founders, the podcast that takes you behind the scene with women who are founders and CEOs to help you start and scale a successful business of your own. I am your host, Nagilia de Ravin. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Female Founders. Today, I will be having a conversation with Sophia DuJardot. Sophia is a leader in voiceover and storytelling. She is passionate about gender equality and helping more voices be heard. Good morning, Sophia, and thank you so much for having this conversation with me. You have worked with some of the top brands in the world when I'm looking at the work you have been doing. And you are very good in what you do, I have to say. I mean, like your voice, the way you change it, the things that you do is just so amazing. I'm just so proud of you to see a woman doing something like that. It's amazing, right? A lot of time you will see it's a man thing doing. It's not a woman. It's a man that's hiring a woman to do the job. But this time it's different. It's a woman and it's amazing. And you're doing absolutely wonderful work. But what made you want to start Belle Voix studio and AudioMazes, and how do they help people share the stories?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. So I started Belle Voix Studios about 5 years ago as an actual company. And I love working in the voice talent industry. It's so dynamic. And I come in every day and I never know what I'm going to be working on, which is so fun. And I get to work with so many unique people. And one of the things that I found in coming into this industry is that vocal talent is still a male dominated industry. It's still a very, even for female characters, there are still men cast for the female characters, which is challenging in of itself. So I wanted to start Belle Voix Studios to not only have fun and to make the work that I do official, but I wanted to be the voice. I wanted to step into the role and claim it and say, this is what I do. This is what I'm doing. And I wanted to provide a place for other women who are wanting to go into voice talent to be able to come and learn and have a safe space to grow and work. And AudioMazes, I started that. I'm a co-founder in that we wanted to find a way to tell stories differently. So we're really combining literary work with scripts to create a new way to tell stories in audio listening. Because right now, audio stories are just being read off of a book, and it's not quite right. It doesn't quite fit for the audiobook industry. So we're creating a new way to tell stories. And I love that.
Yes. And you can tell you love it too.
Absolutely.
But you also help create the front pistol pit. Am I saying that correctly? The foundation? And
yes.
what it does for students, what it does for students?
Yeah. So Frank Eaton is Pistol Pete. He is the mascot for Oklahoma State University. He has been the mascot for over 100 years. He is also my great-grandfather. So, yeah. And he is also the mascot for multiple other universities. And so what we wanted to do is my family and I came together and we want to find a way. Many people now do not realize that the mascot was a real person. They don't know. They think it's a cartoon character. So we wanted to form a foundation to create a legacy of who he was as a person. And we wanted to provide an outlet. So he was a jack of all trades. He did everything. He was a blacksmith. He was a sheriff. He was a fantastic person. And we want to provide those opportunities for students to come in, whether it be for a trade school or university, and allow them, and people from all walks of life, they don't have to be 18 years old coming in to go to school. That's not how life works. We want to provide scholarships and grants for people to come in and be able to educate themselves, because that's really where society changes, is through education.
Yes, and I agree. And you know what? it doesn't mean that you need to go get a degree. And I tell people that all the time. And people will come, oh, I'm starting a business. Which degree do I need? None. You don't need a degree for that. Don't get me wrong. Well, sometimes they'll tell me, well, you got an MBA. Yeah, but I didn't get it just because I wanted to start a business. Well, there's other reasons behind it. So I will say that you're right. It's just if you can learn something, maybe like you say, you want to be a blacksmith. Maybe there's a course to learn to be a blacksmith. Maybe you just go do that. You don't really need to go get a 4 years degree and end up with the $80,000 bills that you cannot afford.
No, that's exactly correct. And trade schools are incredibly valuable in society. They're so incredibly important. We need people from all walks of life. And this allows people to come in and not walk out, like you said, with the $80,000 in debt that they're going, how am I going to pay this back now? We also wanted
Yes.
to create that change so that people can come back to their communities and help their communities grow. And that is so important. And that's something that everyone at the foundation strongly believes in, is creating those changes through individuals to help communities.
But at Belle Vox Studio, you help women become voice on. You let the voice heard, and that's how I've seen it. It's like
Yeah.
when they are recording, it's like they are being something. I guess you just enjoy. I feel like you just being a different type of person for different type of things, right? But why
Yes.
is this important to you, and how do you help them feel confident? Because I can imagine sometimes they might be like, this doesn't sound like me at all. So where do you find that confident for them?
Yeah, one of the things that I think is so fun is when we get to come back to ourselves and allow ourselves to be silly and be free and allow ourselves to explore the different parts of who we are and the other parts of what we've seen in this life. It allows us to be more than the box that we are forced to be in on a daily basis.
Yes,
Yeah. And so it's empowering.
it is. And but with the company, do you work with small businesses? I know that I've seen you work with some really brands. So how
Yeah.
does that work, and how do you get this type of contracts?
Yeah. Oh, that's a fantastic question. So I tell people all the time, the big contracts are wonderful and fantastic, but my bread and butter comes from the small businesses, the small mom and pop businesses that, I have a couple of resorts that seem like they're big chains, but they're not. They're mom and pop owned. And a lot of it comes from phone systems, from e-courses, from utilizing things where, I get a call and it's like, hey, we have a snow day and we need a quick announcement that we've got a snow day coming up. There are so many venues that may seem unconventional for voiceover, but it's everything from working on, I do a voice for these tunnels that are underground. The doors are closing, which is so boring. It's so absolutely boring, but it's such a great way to have steady income. And I have subscribers that just they pay in every month and they can send me an email. I need this recording, and here you go. And it works. So
Yeah, but it sounds so like the way I hear it. How did you just change your voice so fast?
it's hours in this booth.
It's amazing. It's like I was hearing one thing, the next thing I'm like, what? What's happening? Is that her? But
Yeah.
how does audio mazes give women more chances to work in audio production and storytelling?
Yes. So this is very exciting and I'm quite passionate about this. So not only are we seeking the narrators for this, the female voices, if there is a female role, a female voice is going to play the role. This is incredibly important. We really
Yes.
want to have that authenticity to the characters. And that's one of the things that we're doing in AudioMazes is that if we have a character that's written out, we want to find a voice for that character that is that voice, if that makes sense. We
Yes.
also are hiring authors of all walks of life, all genres,
Ooh.
all everyone that we are trying to open the door to indie authors. In addition, we are also looking for female sound designers and females that are in within this industry, it is very difficult to break through because the role traditionally has gone to the male gender. So as such, we are working and collaborating to open these doors to genders that so that they can come in and actually
Yes.
have a role in our company with us. So, yeah.
So pretty much you want to help them get out there, like
Yes.
where they wouldn't be able to do it themselves. So you're gonna help them
Yes.
improve and get where they need to be.
And editors as well. That's also editors also. We have a very strong we have lists of editors that we're bringing in and graphic design artists. That's another thing that we're looking for. And part of what we're doing is that we're looking for those underdogs. We're looking for people who are trying to get that breakthrough. And so that's exactly what we're doing.
And usually they are great in what they do, but the only thing is that someone is not giving them a chance. And I think that's the big issue we are facing, especially when it's come to women. We are amazing. Yes,
Mhm.
we are the mom, we have the diapers, and then we're doing the breastfeeding, but we do have the talent too. We're great in
Yeah.
things. We just want one chance to prove ourselves. But I
Yeah.
guess as women, we need to open the door when we can.
Right. And allowing that flexibility. That's always been a very big piece for everything that I have worked in is that people have lives outside of their work. And if you allow people to have their lives outside of work, they will give back so much more by allowing that flexibility and not micromanaging and saying, "Hey, I need this done by next Friday. Talk to you then." 99% of the time it works out.
Yes.
So, yeah, and allowing people to have their lives with their work has been a fantastic I believe it's something that my companies bring to the table when we're looking to work with people as well who may not be able to get a traditional 9 to 5 job because they are juggling families or juggling taking care of parents because there are many people
Yes.
who are also struggling with that and sometimes both at the same time.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I don't think society even realize that you have a brother
Mhm.
and you have a sister. About 99.9% of chance, the sister is the one who's about to handle both mom and dad.
That's correct.
And at the same time, that sister also have a family, maybe 5 kids with a husband
Mhm.
to take care of, and also a
Mm,
full-time job on top of it. So it's
mm,
really hard. And I think that, like what you said, giving them a chance to, like, okay, this project needs to be done in 2 days. All right, then
mm.
I'll get
Yep.
it to you in 2 days. But at least that kind of help that woman to make a schedule to work around it, to get the job done, still be able to be the caregiver, still be able to be the mother and the wife at the same time.
Yes, exactly. And that's very important to me. I went through school. I've got 3 boys and went through school and worked full-time jobs and did all of those the juggling and all it's so hard, and I believe that it has gotten harder. It has definitely not gotten easier for people, so
No. And
yeah.
one thing, it's like a lot of time people said, oh, well, all your kids are growing up, you're on your own, you're good. You know what? I don't believe that, because
Mhm.
as a mother, but also I have a mom, I talk to my mom at least 3 times in a day.
Yeah.
So, like,
Absolutely.
all my problems will head to my mom, and sometimes
Yes.
she has to help me deal with them because I don't know how to handle that. So why
Yeah.
would you do, mom?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like being a mom. It's not something that really, it might get easier because you're not changing the diaper anymore,
Mhm.
but you are doing with way more issues than changing the diaper. The diaper is a lot easier
Right.
to change when the kid is older, bringing all this problem you never faced before. You kind of have to sit there like, all right, then what would I do? How do I make sure my kid is not gonna burn down or something like that?
Yes.
Being a
Exactly.
mom never ended.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It never ends. And I do believe that even if your kids are out of the home or they're older, even if they still need their mom, they still need that guidance and they still need those helpful insights of what can I do and how can I solve this problem? So there's never an off button for that.
No, I don't think so. And I think sometimes we just need the shoulder to cry on.
Mhm,
Because we have that's
absolutely.
the last place we can go is mom, and just
Right.
spell it all out and cry. And I think what you're doing is fantastic, giving it like a
Mhm.
place to still do what we do, what we're good
Yes.
at, but still also be part of the family. And it's
Yeah.
like being in corporate America, you get out of work, you're stuck in the traffic zone. By the time you get home, it's
Mhm.
7 p.m., trying to cook dinner, helping the kids with their homework. It's like, and then you wake up again, do it all over again. It's to
That's
create a
crazy.
burnout.
Yeah. It's too hard, it's too much. I firmly believe in remote work. I think that not only is it beneficial for the family, but it's beneficial for your company in that by allowing employees or contractors to work on their schedules. I don't care if they're doing work at 3 o'clock in the morning. Fantastic. Whatever works. Whatever whatever works for them is, and as long as the deadlines are met and consistently deadlines are met. So I'm a strong believer and pro advocate for remote work. Absolutely.
But you know what? You end up putting yourself in a world-dominated industry.
Mhm.
What challenges you have faced while building your businesses, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so that's a great question. One of the first and foremost challenges that I faced is getting a loan from the bank. That's very difficult. Even going in with my MBA and sitting with a business plan, it was, well, and this actually came up in the questionnaire. So you're not married? And I was like,
Huh?
I'm not clear what that has to do with my company. So there are still stigmas and there are still the pieces that, in my head, I cannot definitively say it's because I was a woman or because, yeah, but I have to question and say, would this be asked if I was a man?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
That's the truth.
I find over and over again, and it is frustrating when I audition for a role and then find that there is a male taking over the role, and it's frustrating in that I feel like that's misrepresentation.
Yes,
And, so that's difficult. And I also have found, throughout that I've been in conversations and meetings, and I've been, with a partner, and whoever we're talking to turns to the male in the room and speaks to the male, and I'm like,
yes,
"Well, this is interesting because I'm the one making the decision."
I know. And
Okay.
I've been through that too. I think when I went to the bank, he told me that you should go back and just be a mom because you seems to be really good at it. Yeah, that was the answer. Yeah. You
Oh,
know, he was right. I did go back be a mom, and still invest in my company and my own. And
yes,
then
yes,
right now, I still exist. But you really will get that. And
yes.
when you talk about in the womb, it's like, oh, if you come with someone else, sometimes I will go with the staff, sometimes I will go with a partner. Yep, they always turn around and look at, and I let them talk. Usually, you know what I do?
Oh, yeah,
I say nothing. I just let
yeah.
them talk. And at the end, when the decision comes, the person will turn out and look at me. Oh, she's making the decision? Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Hi, it's me.
The woman you don't want to talk to. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
here.
I think what's really great about that is that it also shows, and it frequent I'm like, "I don't know that I wanna do business with you." I this is if you're not willing to work with other people, if you're basing things just off of gender, this isn't going to work. This is not going to be a situation. I don't want to collaborate with you because you're going to continue to do this to other people. So,
Absolutely. And
yeah.
you know one thing that you said about I have a kid, so I watch a lot of cartoons over the year,
Yeah.
and I think I'll be watching it for a while. And at the end, my son loved to know who was the voice of the main character or the next character or whichever character he falls in love with, right?
Mhm,
And sometimes the character will be a female, but it
mhm.
was a male voice. And you'll be
Mm,
like, Mom, why is a man playing the female? Why not a female
yeah.
just play the voice? And that question, I can't ever answer it.
Oh, this is actually a fantastic, and I'm so glad you brought this up because while I'm sitting here saying, well, it's frustrating that I'm auditioning for a role that's for a female and a male gets the role, One of the things that can happen in the voice industry is that if they're casting for a young male that before they've hit puberty, or even for a non-binary gender, meaning it could be an alien or it could be a Martian or something like that, where they don't have a gender per se, what can happen is that if they're seeking a voice that has the higher pitch, most male voices after puberty go through their tone lowers, their pitch drops, they've got bass in their voice. And as such, the male characters cannot actually play those higher pitch characters for the younger males. So when we look at voiceover, when you're casting for the type of voice, it's what physically, genetically, what can we actually do and how can your voice actually match the characters?
Sure.
So that is really, it's a very good point. It's very good. And yes, you're absolutely correct. It is also more difficult to find child talent for voiceover work, just with the laws that are in place and the things that for protection for children so they're not overworking. That can be
So we
extremely.
need that can be the issue too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what advice would you give to girls or women who want to work in storytelling or voiceover?
Mm. Oh, and I love that you use the word storytelling because that's really what it is. It's storytelling. And I still, when I see women who talk and they use their hands, I mean, I actually have my mic is set up so that I can move it around because when I'm in characters, I'm constantly moving and jumping up and down, and we see and hear all the time, calm down. You need to calm down. It's too much. Tone it down. And for me, I'm like, no, let's hear it.
Go.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. This is a perfect industry for that type of work. If you are overzealous and you've heard your whole life that, it's too much, it's too much. It's just enough and it's perfect. And so I would say to women that are wanting to come into this, that storytelling, that part of being in the moment and that excitement that you feel when you're telling a story and your hands are going and you're flinging your body around, that's part of the storytelling process. And you're creating that engagement. So I would say that in that storytelling, if that's something that they want to do, if they notice they have a tendency to do that anyway, go for it. Do it. Bring it. Let's see it all. It's so wonderful. We need to stop telling people to calm down and to fit in those boxes.
Why don't you just sit in that little box, keep your hands crossing, do not move your head like a bot.
Yes.
We got now. Go. But you know what? I can see there will be no connection. There's no feelings, right? Because as
Right.
women, we deal with all these emotions, all these feelings that we put together to create that character, right? And once you remove all that, you just become like
That's
like
right.
a bot. It's just like there's
Right.
nothing. And I feel like that character will just be boring
Yes,
too.
exactly. I had a wonderful voice teacher who taught me the most amazing thing. I would get very nervous prepping for commercials, extremely nervous. Like, of course, I mean, I'm like, oh, how am I going to do this? And I have to be professional, right? I have to be super professional. And she was like, what are you doing? She's like, you've just changed into a completely different person. I'm like, I'm being professional. I'm I'm ready for my role. And she's like, no, 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 no. She's like, get up right now, get up. And she's like, this is a happy, exciting. I want your hands in the air. And when you lift your hands in the air, it allows your lungs to fully expand and it
Mm,
allows for your vocal cords to be open and bright and cheery. And the same is true for the opposite emotion when you need to cave in and you need to be tense or there's a tense
yeah.
scene, clenching your fists and doing those. So she really gave me that permission for the first time, aside from my storytelling work with audiobooks and other things like that, that if you're doing a commercial and it's happy, exciting, upbeat, stand up. Stand up, get your hands up, get in the motion and just allow yourself to feel
Yeah.
and don't keep those feelings inside. As females, like you were saying, frequently we're taught to keep these emotions inside. No. Let's
Yeah.
get them out. Let's do this.
But who has helped or inspired you the most on your journey? And
Mm.
how have they made a difference in your life?
Oh, this is such a wonderful question. The voiceover community is so wonderful. There are so many people that are just such beautiful souls that I love working in this industry because of all of the people that I get to connect with on a daily basis. I find that most of the teachers that are voice coaches, everything from dialects to how to actually perform in your commercials or how to perform for TV series, they're totally different. Promo work is completely different from commercials. Storytelling through audiobooks, completely different from promo work. And all of these teachers have been so open and non-judgmental and like, what can we do to help? What can I do to step in here? And on the flip side of this, almost every single person that I've met wanting to come into the voiceover industry has been so excited and kind and open to so many people. And it's just so refreshing to, previously, 15 years ago, I worked in corporate. And it's so very just fit in your box, don't make waves, clock in, clock out, answer your email and your phone at night. I don't care if you're making supper, I need this report right now. It is not like that at all. And so I have to say, it has been a combination of teachers, it's been a combination of students that have worked with me. Everybody has been inspiring. Um,
But you know, you're like you're doing many different things. You're a mom. You have two businesses pretty much, plus also the foundation. So how do you manage running multiple businesses and still make time to help others?
oh. So it's tricky. I would say the most important thing is to follow a schedule. And I keep a very tight schedule. There's a book that I had just started reading a couple of months ago, and one of the core focuses in this book, of course, I am a huge fan of Hal Elrod and his Miracle Morning plan that he has. I am a huge believer in it. I don't wake up at 5 a.m. I usually record late at night, so this is about the earliest that I am going in the morning. But sticking to a consistent schedule is so incredibly important, and just aligning the timing with what you're doing is also important, and surrounding yourself with people who believe in you and who will honor your schedule and who will honor what you're doing is so important as well.
Yes, it is. But what has been the happiest moment in your career so far?
The happiest moment, let's see. I think it's been starting AudioMazes. That entire process of taking something, so I am a Gen Xer, and taking something from my childhood that brought me so much joy and excitement into adulthood with, we have our phrases, enter the maze. So one book has got, 15 different books inside of it. It's so
Ooh.
awesome. And having that, it's truly a joy. It doesn't even feel like work because it is something that is so fun and fresh, and the chance that I get to work with so many amazing women. That is so empowering and just so wonderful. I absolutely love that.
What do you think the future of storytelling and audio will look like, and how do your companies fit into that future?
Oh, I love this question so much. So, I believe storytelling is getting ready to change. So, the core essence of human beings, we have moved through this world from storytelling. Before
Yeah.
there was written word, we had storytelling. And here we are again, we're faced with people aren't writing as much. So it's a very
Yeah.
unique thing that is happening in our societies where we have these communications via text and email, which are shortened or abbreviated communications without emotion. And then we're bringing in these audiobooks, this audio storytelling, which is not a literary written work, and it's not a movie script because you can't see what's going on. So we're creating a blend, this hybrid of a new way of storytelling that almost goes back to a very primal beginning for human
Right.
beings. And that is really where you get connections with people and their stories and finding out everything about the history and your past and where we come from. So it's really beautiful. And I do believe that we are creating something totally new that's a blend
Yes.
of everything where we've been.
And you know what? It's also amazing when you start talking about family members. And I think, like what you said with your grandfather, I would have never known about that. It's like, really? I thought that was just a
A cart-
character or a
yes.
cartoon or something. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was really someone truly behind that. And
Hmm.
it's kind of like be able to actually just talk about that history itself, that storytelling, right? It's just amazing for families because each family has someone that was, or more, that was awesome. That was just like,
Mhm.
truly people will love to hear about that person.
Yes. I also believe I am a big believer. I'm actually writing a book called The Forgotten Gender. And one of the pieces with that is how history has been told through the lens of men in
Yeah,
general. And how, when I was growing up through school, most of our history consisted of male, you know, so and so went into battle and this is what they did. And it was
yeah.
all, male led and male driven. And so one of the pieces that I think is so interesting about new storytelling is that through podcasts and through audiobooks and through things, we are able to tell stories from our family members, even of, well, I want to talk about what my grandmother did while my grandfather was out doing all of this stuff. Let's talk about what she did
I
and
did.
everything that she did in the community. There were children who got to go to school because of her, and there were families that got groceries because of her. And there's so much there within each person's family that is wonderful to pass down to future generations as well. So it's both sides. We're getting not just one side.
Yes. But the young girls, I feel like the next generation, the young girls that's growing up right now, they are different. And I feel like I don't have a girl, so I have a boy, but I met some girls, it's like, whoa. So at your age, I wouldn't do that. My grandpa would have slapped me so fast. My ass would have been hurting for a few days if I did that. But they
Yes,
are bold, right? They are bold. They stand up for themselves. It's like, that's amazing. That's
it
a
is.
huge difference compared to how I was raised, you know?
Yes. I have been shopping in the middle of a store and seeing inappropriate male interactions with teenage girls, and I'm about ready to walk over and go insert myself into the middle of a situation, and I have seen girls turn around and go, "What do you think you're doing?" And
Okay.
"Oh, I'm here for this." I'm like, "All right, yeah, what are you doing?" And I'm like, at that age, I never would have had that power to do that. I would have been very keep quiet, just keep walking, keep your head down. And so I think it's amazing to see this power that is
Yes.
coming from these young girls.
But
It's
do you know where it's
inspiring.
coming from?
I don't. I would like to say
I
maybe
think it's
social
us.
media. Yeah,
No, it's us.
possibly.
I think it's like every time one woman stand and said, no, enough is enough. I think that we are making a difference, even we don't know it. And don't get me wrong, social media can create good and bad vibes. But I
Mhm.
think that also when we stand up, we're like, enough is enough. We're done with this. Or even a woman that's going through domestic violence and come out and
Yes,
talk about it. And long time ago, women wouldn't do that. Talk about
exactly.
domestic violence, forget about, oh, honey, you want to come back and beat me again? That's probably what would have happened. But
Exactly.
now it's not that. It's that we're standing up, like enough is enough. It's like we're getting enough. And I think that generation that right now we are standing up and
Mhm.
young girls are looking at it, wait a minute, my mom's standing up for herself. So I can stand up for myself too. So I
Yes.
think that's where the difference is coming. And I think we are creating it. And some people might say it's a bad thing. For me, I think it's amazing. It's like seeing young girls like, did you just touch my butt? And just
Mhm.
slap that face. It's like, go girl, do your
Do
thing.
it.
I'm
Yeah,
just gonna stand there and watch and do nothing. He deserve it. But long time ago, if that happened to me, I would just cry and go home.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes we don't even talk to our family about it because we feel embarrassed. We just keep it to ourselves, you know? Why
Or
are
you
you
hear,
crying?
"Why were you wearing that? You shouldn't have been wearing that in the store." I'm like,
Yes.
"What? What do you mean? I'm just wearing a t-shirt and jeans, and what does it matter that I'm what I'm wearing? But it doesn't matter." So I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, it's wonderful to see, and I like I said, I was actually like, "Well, I'm just gonna be here for backup just in case." Like,
The backup plan. Now, it's good to be the backup plan. Like, it's just to sit back, you relax. It's like, all right, girl, do your thing. I'm just watching. You're doing great. Keep going. But you know what? What would you say to young girls who want to start their own businesses or dream big?
oh, you need to have a solid business plan. That is so incredibly important. And in developing your business plan, this, which you can find online, you don't have to pay money for this. There are business plans online. There are YouTube videos online. That business plan is your blueprint to your future. And
Yes.
it's a way to take these creative ideas and these abstract ideas and to create concrete, tangible plans to know your market and know exactly what you're going after. This is going to give them real goals to put into their schedule to create tangible action for.
And would you say go dream big?
Absolutely. I say dream. I mean, if you want to go to Mars, put it to paper. How are you going to do it? Do it. Absolutely. Or if you want to act like you're a Martian on Mars, get into voiceover.
We'll be here cheering for you. But how can anyone reach out to you? And I know that you support women a lot. How can they reach out to you if they want to get to storytelling, voiceover, whatever they feel like their heart desire?
Absolutely. I am very easy to reach on social media. I don't have any bots set up and I don't have anyone that's helping me with this. So if you reach out to me on social media, you're actually going to be talking with me. And I am more than happy to help and assist. And if you are having trouble setting up your booth or you have basic questions, I offer free support. So I
Mhm.
welcome anyone who wants to direct message me. They can. You can also find my websites and contact me through there. I answer all of the contact me forms. That's me directly. So I am more than happy to help.
I just want to put it out there. You don't know which voice she will be giving you when you call, by the way. It might be a different voice. Yeah, the voice might be different, but it's still her. Don't be scared.
Right. So when I hear someone who's mean, I just like dip right into the AI voice. Error 202.
That was so good. That was good. That was a good one. Well, thank you so much, Sophia, for giving me that chance to talk to you. Anything else you'd like to say to the audience before you go?
No, again, be you. There is so much that this world needs from you. This world needs you to show up as your authentic self. Be unique, be loud, get out of those boxes, and just be part of this world. We need you.
Oh, give me one line in a different voice.
Mm. What do you want me to say?
Oh, thank you so much, Sophia. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for listening to Female Founders Podcast. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app or connect with us on womel.com so that you don't miss our next episode. See you next time. Bye for now.